So similar to Sam, really. Just if you can tell us about where you started from. If you think back to the first year, many years ago.
Many years ago. That's 2014.
Yeah. So tell us about your first year. What was that like?
Oh, I used to be a combined student, so it was really hard, and it took me a long time to realise that the other subject I was doing alongside this one wasn't right for me, and that I did need to make the decision to go full single honours with photography. But because I was scared of failure and of people going, oh, well, what's the point in getting a photography degree? Like, what are you going to do with that? And it's like, well, I want one. Like, I'll be really proud of myself if I have a photography degree. Like, it shouldn't matter to me what other people think about it. And unfortunately, it did take me 2 years to come to that realisation, and unfortunately those 2 years were very difficult in terms of trying to create something that I was proud of, trying to just understand what I was doing and not to just curse, and doing what I had to do to get by. I wasn't enjoying myself. I was very depressed, very depressed. But without the support from you and from everybody else, it would have been a lot worse, and I would have ended up dropping out. But because of the support that I was offered and the advice that I was offered.
Do you mind talking about that? Because
yes,
I just think it's interesting that we get so many students who struggle in first year. You know, it's a huge shift going to university and dealing with, you know, the change in life and the pressures that you're under. So, looking back at that time, because you're a completely different person, totally different person. So, if looking back at that time, what do you think kind of, you don't have to go into detail, but why do you think you ended up so depressed? And have you got any advice for students out there?
I have been diagnosed with like clinical depression since I was a very early teenager, and part of coming to university for me was running away from that and hoping to get away from it, and for a while that did work, and it was everything's different now. I can be who, you know, I'm trying to be rather than who I felt like I was being forced to be. And then when I realised how much work there was and how scary and big university was, especially compared to my college, because my college was really small. The classes were tiny. There was only like 3 lecturers in there, and compared to that, coming to uni where there are this many people and there's this much that you have to deal with, it seems so overwhelming and like it's too much. But it's always going to be bigger in your head. It's always bigger in your head. Just tell someone how you are feeling, and that is the biggest, scariest thing in the world to do, is to admit that there's something wrong and that you do need someone to help you. And even if it's someone that's not technically qualified to be able to help, they can help, just sharing the fact that you are scared and that you are overwhelmed and that you're not coping very well. Like they say, a problem shared is a problem halved, and that is so true. And having that like coaxing to talk about it, because it took me a really long time to come to anyone and talk about it, and from the coaxing of, we can tell you're not okay, please come and talk to us about it, if there's something, let us know if there's anything we can do, and everything was done to make me feel like safe and looked after and motivated, and like I was just supported the whole time, and I was never made to feel like I was on my own. I was doing that to myself, and as soon as I told somebody, it just got a million times easier, and I started enjoying myself. And it did take a little longer to get to the point of this and creating something that I am insanely proud of, but without all of that I'd gone through at the beginning, I wouldn't have done this, and I wouldn't have done or been capable of anything that I've done the past 4 years if I hadn't been through that really hard first 2 years.
So where was the transformation? Where did that change, do you think, for you?
I don't know. I think it was really gradual. It started happening really gradually. Slowly I started eating better, I started going out of the house more, I started being more sociable, I started speaking up in lectures when I had an opinion and things like that. Because I'm sure for the first year, a couple of lecturers didn't even know who I was, because I was so quiet when I was there, and when I wasn't there, it was just like, oh, well, Meg's not here, that's normal. But the really slow, gradual change lasted for, I'm going to say, the whole of second year, the first time round. And I just woke up one morning and I was like, oh, I love this. this is amazing, like I'm supported by everyone, all my friends are great, the course is amazing, like I'm enjoying my life again. And yeah, it was a very, very gradual change, but as soon as I realised it, it felt immediate, like the weight of the world had just been lifted off my shoulders. Really weird.
And also repeating the second year. That was
so
well, it
beneficial
actually
for me.
wasn't so much of a repeat because you transferred from combined subjects into photography, and there were core modules that you were missing.
Yeah, there was two modules I hadn't done.
Yeah.
So there was narrative and the image that I was so happy I did do, because that was what made me realise when you are creating something that you care about, you will do it well. If you're half-assing it, it's not going to be any good. Do something that you are passionate about, that makes you angry, that makes you want to use your voice for something. Even if it's something you think is irrelevant and insignificant and doesn't matter, it's still using your voice for something that you care about, and therefore you will create something amazing. And realising that in the second year, when I did my consent required work for the image, I felt like I was doing something amazing, because talking about consent and sexual assault and stuff is something that I'm very passionate about and I feel very strongly about, obviously, because that's exactly what this is, and that's what made me realise I want to do like activist practices with my photography. That is what I want to use it for. And yeah, I love photographing weddings and the weekends and stuff like that, but this is what I want to do forever. And if it wasn't for the image, I would never have realised that. And with narrative, that was like a self-healing process for me, because I did it about my depression and my anxiety, photographing my life from the inside out, really. So all the photographs are of me, and I never looked presentable, I just looked rubbish, and I was photographing through the windows, but like on the inside of my house looking out, and I didn't realise at the time that I was doing it, and it took Craig telling me, this is what I think your work is about, for me to realise that is exactly what it's about. And it's self-expressive to the point where I learned something about myself rather than getting other people to learn things about me. And going through that process was invaluable. Like that was what changed everything. It was doing that, doing well, getting a good grade, getting the feedback, and it just pushed it so much further for me to want to do better, for me to spend more time on it, to start caring about what research files were. So I didn't care. I didn't see the point. I was like, I'm creating a photograph, and it not really speak for itself, but now I understand presentations and research files and how important they are and why they're useful to me and all of that kind of stuff. So that really, unfortunately, it took me 2 years to realise the whole point of university, but I got there, and it's, some people don't. Some people never realise that. And the fact that I did has helped in more ways than I can explain, I think. I'm going to cry again.
So if you were to describe the course, because as I said in the other room, I tell the students what I think the course is. I kind of give talks and say, this is what I think the course is, this is what we do. But you've gone through 4 years of the course.
Yeah.
You've glutton for punishment. So, see, can you explain to me what you understand from the course? What's given you? Yeah.
For me, it's not been like a course. Each year has been something different. So first year was a lot of teaching us technical aspects about how to use analog cameras and how to develop the film and all of this kind of stuff, which was amazing. That was what drew me to the course in the first place, because I couldn't find any other courses that did that kind of thing, and that was what I wanted to do. And like getting that rewarding feeling of, okay, I bought some film, I've got this camera, kind of know what I'm doing, no idea if my photos are going to turn out great, I can't look at them again, and then you get them back, and then you look at your negatives and they're perfect, then you make your prints and they're good, and it's just like the most rewarding feeling. And for me, that is what photography is as an art form, is creating something out of these tiny little things that don't really make any sense. They do scientifically, obviously, make a lot of sense, but to me, numbers and that kind of thing, I don't get it. But having that, I have created this, like my phone didn't do this, my camera didn't do this, I did this. That was amazing. So all of that from first year was what kept me going, was this is so exciting, I'm learning something new every single time I come in, and that I'm going to know forever now how to do that. And I could have learned that anywhere else, I could have done that to myself. And then the first go of second year was a lot more about refining the kind of thing you want to do. So like finding out what your practice is, what you care about, your way of doing things, and figuring out whether your way of doing things is alright or not, because if you're trying to do something that isn't working, then someone's going to tell you that it's not. And then the second year was me discovering that is what I want to do, how I want to do it, getting the positive reinforcement of you found your stuff, like you found your passion. I hate using that word, but that's exactly what it is. It's like you're finding what you care about, what you're good at, what you excel in, and it's just like a bubble that's burst from around your head, the light bulb's smashed, and you get all of these realisations, and it's like, okay, this is very overwhelming. 2 years of learning to, for me, the next 2 years of refining and keeping going and elevating everything. So I get my foundation of what I need to know, and then I get the encouragement and platform and how to use my platform and like what is, I don't know, I can't explain it. It's like self-discovery and then beginning of your career. That's the only way I can try and figure it out, because I know for a fact this is the thing I'm most proud of ever, and I cannot wait to keep doing more of these. I already have 3 more ideas for the next 3 volumes of them, and especially with the upskating stuff, I've got a whole other zine because of the upskating wars that are going on at the minute. But yeah, it's eye-opening. I've definitely learned an equal amount about photography and who I am as a person. But yeah, third year has been my favourite, I think. I don't know what else I can say about the course. It's just great. It's really good.
What about advice for students coming onto the course? What do you tell them?
Be prepared to suffer. Because if you don't, then you're not going to learn anything. Don't coast. There's no point. If you're going to coast, don't bother. Honestly, there's no point. Learn about yourself. Use your skills as a photographer and your drive as a photographer to do something you care about, or do something you think would benefit other people. Photography can be used as a therapeutic thing for yourself. It can be used as an amplifier for something you feel incredibly strongly about. For me, that is social and political issues. But I think it is. Photography is one of those things that without, the world would not be able to carry on in the same way. Newspapers wouldn't be the same, like adverts wouldn't be the same. Nothing would work the same way it does. So for me, it's a lot more important than you take photos, you have a qualification in taking photos. It's like, that's not what it's about. It's about a lot more than that, and about what it can do, what the tool can be used to achieve. So keep that in mind. Try not to lose perspective of that. Try not to just get by on the bare minimum of what you need to get a grade. The grades aren't that important if you are doing something that you care about and that makes you happy. And that's not hurting other people. Getting all weird now.
It's fantastic.
Mm-hmm.